Have you ever found yourself worrying that intimacy ends too quickly? Maybe you've wondered why some men seem to last longer during sexual activity while others struggle with finishing sooner than they would like. Perhaps you've even searched online and found countless tips, tricks, and so-called miracle solutions that promise instant results. As a doctor, I want to begin by reassuring you that concerns about lasting longer are extremely common. In fact, one of the most frequent questions healthcare professionals receive from men and couples is how to improve sexual stamina and maintain intimacy for a longer period of time. The good news is that science has given us valuable insights into this topic, and many of the most effective solutions are far simpler than people imagine. One of the biggest misconceptions is that lasting longer is purely a matter of willpower. Many men believe that if they just concentrate harder or try to distract themselves enough, they can control ejaculation indefinitely. Unfortunately, that's not how the human body works. Ejaculation is a complex biological process involving the brain, nervous system, hormones, muscles, emotions, and psychological factors. Understanding this process is the first step toward improving control. When a man becomes sexually aroused, signals travel between the brain and the body, creating a buildup of excitement. As stimulation continues, the body eventually reaches a threshold where ejaculation becomes difficult to stop. Scientists sometimes refer to this as the point of inevitability. Once that point is reached, ejaculation usually occurs shortly afterward. The key to lasting longer is not trying to stop the process at the last second. Instead, it involves learning how to recognize rising levels of arousal and managing them before reaching that critical threshold. One of the most scientifically supported techniques is known as the start-stop method. This approach has been studied for decades and remains one of the most effective behavioral strategies. The idea is simple. During sexual activity or self-stimulation, a man learns to recognize the signs that ejaculation is approaching. At that point, stimulation is paused briefly until arousal decreases. Once control returns, activity resumes. Over time, this practice helps train awareness of arousal levels and improves the ability to manage excitement before reaching the point of no return. Another evidence-based technique is called the squeeze method. In this approach, stimulation is paused when ejaculation feels close, and gentle pressure is applied to a specific area of the penis for several seconds. This temporarily reduces arousal and can help delay ejaculation. While some individuals find this method useful, many experts today prefer the start-stop technique because it is often easier to apply and more comfortable for couples. Let's talk about anxiety because it plays a major role in sexual performance. Many men who worry about finishing too quickly unknowingly create a cycle that makes the problem worse. The more anxious a person becomes, the more alert the nervous system becomes. Increased nervous system activity can accelerate arousal and reduce control. In other words, worrying about ejaculating quickly can sometimes increase the likelihood that it happens. This is why psychological factors are so important. Many people are surprised to learn that relaxation can be one of the most effective tools for improving stamina. Deep breathing exercises, mindfulness practices, and learning to stay mentally present during intimacy can significantly improve control. Instead of constantly monitoring performance or worrying about outcomes, focusing on physical sensations, emotional connection, and relaxation often leads to better results. Physical fitness also deserves attention. Regular exercise improves cardiovascular health, blood circulation, hormone balance, energy levels, and overall sexual function. Research consistently shows that physically active individuals often report better sexual health outcomes than those with sedentary lifestyles. Exercise is not a magic solution, but it creates a healthier foundation for sexual performance. One group of muscles that has received increasing scientific attention is the pelvic floor. These muscles support the bladder, bowel, and sexual organs. Strengthening the pelvic floor through targeted exercises, commonly known as Kegel exercises, may improve ejaculation control in some men. Just as athletes train muscles to improve physical performance, strengthening pelvic floor muscles can enhance awareness and control during sexual activity. Sleep is another factor that is frequently overlooked. Poor sleep affects hormone production, stress levels, mood regulation, and overall physical health. Chronic sleep deprivation can contribute to sexual difficulties, including reduced control and increased performance anxiety. Ensuring consistent, high-quality sleep is one of the simplest lifestyle improvements a person can make for both general health and sexual well-being. Let's address one of the most common myths on the internet: the idea that there is a specific number of minutes that defines good sexual performance. Science does not support this belief. Surveys and research studies show significant variation among individuals and couples. What matters most is mutual satisfaction, communication, and emotional connection, rather than trying to achieve an arbitrary time target. Many people become unnecessarily stressed because they compare themselves to unrealistic expectations created by social media, pornography, or misinformation. Speaking of pornography, excessive consumption can sometimes influence expectations about sexual performance. Pornographic content is designed for entertainment rather than education. Scenes are often edited, exaggerated, and carefully produced. Comparing real-life intimacy to these performances can create unrealistic standards that contribute to anxiety and dissatisfaction. Healthy sexual relationships are based on communication, comfort, pleasure, and connection, rather than attempting to replicate scripted performances. Communication between partners is one of the strongest predictors of sexual satisfaction. Couples who openly discuss preferences, concerns, comfort levels, and expectations often experience less anxiety and greater intimacy. When both partners view sexual experiences as a shared journey rather than a performance test, pressure decreases and satisfaction often increases naturally. Some men may wonder whether condoms can help them last longer. In some cases, they can. Condoms may reduce sensitivity slightly, which can delay ejaculation for certain individuals. There are also specialized condoms designed specifically to help with stamina. However, results vary from person to person, and condoms should be viewed as one potential tool rather than a universal solution. There are also medical treatments available for individuals experiencing persistent premature ejaculation. Healthcare professionals may recommend behavioral techniques, counseling, topical anesthetic products, or certain medications depending on the underlying cause and individual circumstances. If concerns are severe, persistent, or causing significant distress, seeking professional medical advice is an important step. Many men hesitate to discuss these issues, but healthcare providers deal with them regularly and can offer effective guidance. It's also important to understand that sexual stamina is influenced by emotional health. Stress from work, financial concerns, relationship conflicts, low self-confidence, and mental fatigue can all affect sexual performance. The brain is the body's most important sexual organ. If the mind is overwhelmed, The body often reflects that stress. Addressing emotional well-being is therefore an essential part of improving intimacy. One particularly helpful mindset shift involves changing the goal of intimacy itself. Many people focus entirely on preventing ejaculation, which creates pressure and tension. A healthier approach is to focus on pleasure, connection, communication, and shared experiences. Ironically, when individuals stop obsessing over timing and performance, they often find that control improves naturally. Science consistently shows that lasting longer is rarely about discovering a secret technique or miracle product. Instead, it involves understanding the body's arousal process, reducing anxiety, improving awareness, practicing proven behavioral methods, maintaining physical health, and fostering healthy communication with a partner. Small improvements applied consistently often produce better results than dramatic short-term solutions. As a doctor, I want you to remember one important message. Finishing sooner than you would like does not mean something is wrong with you, nor does it define your worth as a partner. Sexual skills, confidence, and control can be developed over time, just like any other aspect of health and human behavior. The most successful approach combines patience, realistic expectations, evidence-based strategies, and open communication. The science is clear. Lasting longer is not about becoming superhuman. It is about understanding your body, managing arousal effectively, reducing unnecessary anxiety, and building healthier habits that support both physical and emotional well-being. When you focus on those fundamentals, meaningful improvements often follow naturally. If you found this discussion helpful and would like more science-based insights on intimacy, relationships, and sexual health, be sure to subscribe to The Intimacy Guide. Leave a comment sharing your thoughts and join us for future conversations. Until next time, take care of your health, stay informed, and remember that confidence grows through knowledge, practice, and self-understanding.